Hare Krishna, dear devotees, my humble obeisances to you all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining His Holiness Chandramauli Swami Maharaj's daily class. Today, we are continuing with the Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, sixth chapter, the Purusha Sukta confirmed, and today's verse is number 37. And Maharaj is not available to give class today, so we have Her Grace Sridevi Mataji on the call to enlighten us on this topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna Mataji, my humble obeisances to you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much, Mataji, for your time and association. You can please take over. I'll share my screen.
Thank you, Srimati. Dear devotees, please accept my most humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Guru Maharaj. I offer my most humble obeisances again and again, and I humbly request your mercy, your blessings, your good wishes, your prayers to empower me to do this service today in a manner that will be most pleasing to you, to Guru Maharaj, to Srila Prabhupada, to all the Vaishnavacharyas, to Guru and Krishna. Thank you. Thank you very much for your kind blessings and for your association and for your presence. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patita nam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So as Srimati Mataji said, we are continuing with our reading of second canto. And we are here in verse number 37, Purusha Shukta confirmed. And let us begin with Mangalacharan prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. So the verse goes like this, very beautiful. Please listen up and please be attentive and please ask lots of questions so that we can churn the nectar in the end. Naham nayuyam yadritam gatim vidur Navamadeva kim utapare suraha Tanmayaya mohita buddhayastvidam Vinirmitam chatma samam vichakshmahe. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Since neither Lord Shiva nor you, nor I could ascertain the limits of spiritual happiness, how can other demigods know it? And because all of us are bewildered by the illusory external energy of the Supreme Lord, we can see only this manifested cosmos according to our individual ability. Purport. We have many times mentioned the names of 12 selected authorities, the Dwadasha Mahajans, the 12 Mahajans, of which Brahma, Narad, and Lord Shiva head the list as the first, second, and third in order of merit of those who know something of the Supreme Lord. Other demigods, semi-demigods, Gandharvas, Charanas, Vidyadharas, human beings, or Asuras cannot possibly know fully about the potencies of the absolute Lord Sri Krishna. The demigods, semi-demigods, Gandharvas, etc. are all highly intelligent persons in the upper planets. Human beings are inhabitants of the intermediate planets, and the Asuras are inhabitants of the lower planets. All of them have their respective conceptions and estimations of the absolute truth, as does the scientist or the empiric philosopher in human society. All such living entities are creatures of the material nature, and consequently they are bewildered by the wonderful display of the three modes of material nature. Such bewilderment is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita 7:13. Tribhir gudamair bhavair ebhi sarvam idam jagat. Every entity beginning from Brahma down to the end is individually bewildered by the three modes of material nature, namely goodness, passion, and ignorance. Everyone thinks in terms of individual capacity that this universe, which is manifested before us, is all in all. And so the scientist in the human society of the 20th century calculates the beginning and end of the universe in his own way. But what can the scientist know? Even Brahma himself was once bewildered, thinking himself the only one Brahma favored by the Lord. But later on, by the grace of the Lord, he came to know that there are innumerable more powerful Brahmas as well in far bigger universes beyond this universe. And all of these universes combined together form Ekapad Vibhuti, or only 1/4 of the manifestation of the Lord's creative energy. The other 3/4 of his energy are displayed in the spiritual world. And so, what can the tiny scientist with a tiny brain know of the absolute personality of Godhead Lord Krishna? The Lord says, therefore, Mohitam na bijanati mam ebhya param avyayam. Bewildered by such modes of material nature, they cannot understand that beyond these manifestations is a supreme person who is the absolute controller of everything. Brahma, Narad, and Lord Shiva know about the Lord to a considerable extent, and therefore one should follow the instructions of these great personalities instead of being satisfied with a tiny brain and its playful discoveries such as spacecraft and similar products of science. As the mother is the only authority to identify the father of a child, so the mother Vedas, presented by the recognized authorities such as Brahma, Narad, Shiva, is the only authority to inform us about the absolute truth. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam साद्वैतम सावधूतम परिजना सहितम कृष्ण चैतन्य देवम श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितम हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कंचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि प्रिये नमः ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते चंद्रमौली स्वामी नीति नामिने नमः ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नीति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So again the verse, since neither Lord Shiva nor you nor I could ascertain the limits of spiritual happiness, how can other demigods know it? And because all of us are bewildered by the illusory external energy of the Supreme Lord, we can see only this manifested cosmos according to our individual ability. So who's speaking over here? Can someone tell me? Who is speaking and saying? Since neither Lord Shiva nor you nor I. Who is the other person that the speaker is talking of? Can anyone tell me?
Narada is asking questions to Lord Brahma.
Yes. And in this particular verse, who is answering?
Lord Brahma, no?
Yes. Brahma
Lord
is speaking to Narada. Correct.
Brahma.
Correct. You're both right. So Narad has been posing questions, and in this chapter, Brahmaji is answering him. And here Prabhupada says very clearly, these are the great souls, Mahajans. The 12 Mahajans, who are they? Swayambhu, Narada Shambhu, Kumar Kapila Manu, Prahlad Janaka Bhishma, Balir Vayasaki Vayam. So Swayambhu means Brahma. Swayambhu is the way to describe Brahma, self-born. Basically, he is born from the Lord's navel lotus stem. So he's called Swayambhu. Then Narad Muni is Narad Muni. Shiva is Shambhu. Kumar is the four Kumaras. Kapila is Kapila Muni. Kumara Kapila Manu. Manu is Swayambhu, Swayambhuva Manu. And then you have Balir Vayasaki Vayam, which means Bali Maharaj, and Shukadev Goswami and Yamaraj. These are the 12 Mahajans. Why are they called Mahajans? They're called Mahajans because they are very great in terms of intelligence, in terms of their devotional service, in terms of their capacity to perform devotional service. So therefore, they are described as 12 Mahajans. In fact, that this particular description is there in Canto 6, where Yamaraj is explaining the position of these great souls to his own servants, the Yamadutas, after that pastime. Let's go to that Canto 6. Let me see. Swayambhu Narada Shambhu Kumara Kapila Manu. It will be Canto 6, Chapter 3. Let's see, I'm just typing it out here. Verse 20 and 21. Yamaraj instructs his messengers. Yes, that's the chapter. Verse number 20 and... Okay, I'm making a mistake. 6, 3, 20 and 21. There you go. Yes, that's the verse we are talking about. So, Swayambhu Narada Shambhu Kumara Kapila Manu Pralada Janako Bhishmo Balir Vayasaki Vayam Dvadashaite Vijanimo Dharmam Bhagavatam Bhataha Guyam Vishuddham Durbodham Yam Natvam Amritam Ashnute. Translation: Lord Brahma, Bhagwan Narada, Lord Shiva, four Kumaras, Kapila Muni, Swayambhuva Manu, Prahlad Maharaj, Janak Maharaj, Grandfather Bhishma, Bali Maharaj, Shukadev Goswami, and I myself know the real religious principles. This is why they are considered the topmost, because they know the real religious principles. My dear servants, this transcendental religious principle, which is known as Bhagavad Dharma, or surrender unto the Supreme Lord and love for Him, is uncontaminated by the material modes of nature. It is very confidential and difficult for ordinary human beings to understand. But if by chance one fortunately understands it, he is immediately liberated, and thus he returns home back to Godhead. So therefore, because they can explain the religious principles perfectly, because they understand it perfectly, and because they are themselves the head of the sampradaya, like we have Brahma Sampradaya, we have Rudra Sampradaya, we have Kumar Sampradaya, and then finally we have Sri Sampradaya. All these are great souls who have explained Bhagavad Dharma, and they have established the sampradaya. So therefore, here the description is given that they are great Mahajans. And in spite of being such great souls, Brahma says, I don't know the Lord. He's admitting that I don't know. Let's go back to the main verse. Thank you, Srimati. I don't know who he is. I don't know how great he is. I don't know his opulences, his glories. Maybe a little bit something I may know, but not everything. And then the description is that there are different levels of living entities in different planetary systems. As we know, this Bhulok belongs to the intermediate planetary system. Above this, we have Janalok, Tapalok, Maharlok, Swargalok. Like that, we have the top planetary system, which is known as Swargalok. There, highly intelligent, highly qualified living entities stay. They are called demigods, semi-demigods, Gandharvas, Charanas, Vidyadharas. highly elevated people are there. Below us are the lower planetary systems known as Patal Lok. Their lower beings are there. Many of them are also highly intelligent, but they are asuric. So they are against the principles of religion. You see? So all of them have respective conceptions and estimations, but they are all in the material modes. And consequently, what happens? They are bewildered. Such bewilderment is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, Tribir Gunamayir, Bhavair Ebhi Sarvam Idam Jagat. So every living entity down from, let's go to that verse, Srimati 7:13, because there the description is that all living entities, they are bewildered. They do not know me, who I am. Krishna is explaining this in Bhagavad Gita 7:13. Tribhir gunamair bhavair ebi sarvam idam jagat mohitam na janati mam ebhya param avyayam. Deluded by the three modes of material nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, the whole world does not know me, who am above the modes and inexhaustible. So the whole world is enchanted by the three modes of material nature. In this material world, everyone is mad after Shruta, Shri. What is that particular verse? Janma Aishwarya. Janma Aishwarya, Shruta, Shribhir, Edamana Madapuman. Naivarhat Abhidatun Vai, Tvam Akinchana Gocharam. Kunti Mata is saying that only one who has given up the desire to enjoy this material world, to go after these material opulences, only he can call out to you with great sincerity, Hey Govinda. That is actually a very famous verse, Canto 1, chapter 8, verse number 26. It gives a very clear description that those who are after these opulences, and what are they? High parentage, immense wealth, high education, and bodily beauty. Let's go to that verse. It's a very nice verse. Canto 1, chapter 8, verse number 26. Kunti Devi is speaking, and here she says that only one who is... Okay, mute yourself, please, Manisha. Thank you. Janmaishwarya Shruta Shribhir Edamana Madapuman Naivarhatyabidatum Vai Tvam Akinchana Gocharam. My Lord, your Lordship can easily be approached, but only by those who are materially exhausted. One who is on the path of material progress, trying to improve himself with respectable parentage, great opulence, high education, and bodily beauty cannot approach you with sincere feeling. So this whole world is mad after these four things. Topmost being great opulence. Money, money, money. Money is the honey. After that comes bodily beauty. That is why the magazines are full, the stores are full after, what is that, People magazine and Cosmopolitan and this and that. You go to all these stores, it's all about the latest rock stars, celebrities, movie stars, TV stars, whatnot stars. Why? Because they have a little bit of Krishna's opulence in terms of beauty. Remember, that is springing from Krishna's beauty. But people are so dazzled by just little bit of bodily beauty because they think body is everything. They think I'm this body. So great opulence, bodily beauty. Then after that comes what? I must have a respectable parentage, aristocratic background. So in England, people at one time were so mad about, belonging to an aristocratic background. They would actually pay large sums of money to get a title and to call themselves, I belong to the aristocracy. My family comes from this aristocracy. And actually it is all paid for by money and they've got a title. High education, that's another thing. Big material, big degrees, big material. I'm a scientist, I'm a philosopher, I'm a this, I'm a that. Great intelligence means people think, oh, it's something very great. But all that, if it is simply being used to trap yourself more and more in the material energy, what are you going to get? Another body, another birth, another death, another old age, and diseases. This is not intelligence. This is not using the human form of life properly. This is just entangling ourselves more in the material energy. So, who can teach us to get out? These great Mahajans. They are the Sampradaya Gurus. Okay, let's go back to the main verse. So, Kunti Mata is saying that the whole world does not know me because it's bewildered. It is enchanted by the modes of material nature, and what is glittering, one thinks this is the real thing and runs after that. But what does one get? It's like a mirage, and only there is hot burning sand, and the person is running after thinking there is water, there is water, there's water, but there's only more hot burning sand, as Prabhupada says, and ultimately that poor creature, that animal or bird or human being running after water in a desert, what happens? He dies. So we are very fortunate that somehow or the other Prabhupada has come and he's lifting us up from this ocean of material existence, and he has put us on the Jaladuta boat. Now we must simply cling tight to the instructions of Prabhupada and cross over this ocean of material existence, go back to Krishna, not allow ourselves to get bewildered by the material energy. But this is easier said than done, because the current of materialism is so strong in this age of Kali, it becomes very difficult, very, very difficult to go against the current, isn't it? When a current is pulling you in one direction, you have to make very strong efforts to go in the other direction. Otherwise, the current will pull you. And we are all, quite weak and helpless on our own. And this is why we need association of devotees. This is why we need to be constantly in touch through the hearing process with the transcendental knowledge. Yeah, that is the medicine. That is the aushadhi. Bhava aushadhi. So this bewilderment exists from Brahma down to the ant. Even Brahma got bewildered. That's how that Brahma Vimohana Leela pastime happened. And everyone thinks in terms of his individual capacity. Now, the scientist thinks, oh, with my telescope, I have seen this. So, this is all there is. He cannot think about the fact that all he's doing is measuring one small bit of one tiny planet. Like this, there are millions and billions of planets in one universe. And each universe is compared to one mustard seed in a bag of seeds. How will we get all this knowledge? Only by hearing Shastra from the authorities. We are in a position to say, my dear scientist, this is not the all in all. There is much, much more than this. So what the scientists are doing is like the 10 blind men and the elephant. Do you know that story? You must be knowing that story, right? All of you must have heard that story. 10 blind men, they all came and they came across an elephant. And one fellow, he touched the ears of the elephant and he said, oh, the elephant is like a fan. Another fellow touched the trunk of the elephant. He said, oh, the elephant is like a tree. Another person touched the tail of the elephant and he said, oh, the elephant is like a rope. So this is the intelligence of those so-called scientists, philosophers, etc., who are trying to measure this Earth planet with their teeny tiny intellect, their poor fund of knowledge, as Prabhupada says. What can they understand? What can they understand? No, they cannot, because they are trying to measure the immeasurable with their limited tiny little brains. But we who are fortunate enough to have received the mercy of Prabhupada, we simply humbly submit to this Avaroha Pantha, the descending process coming down through the disciplic succession to us. We humbly submit ourselves at the lotus feet of Guru to hear this knowledge. Shruta, Shruti means hearing. And by hearing, one gains transcendental knowledge. And how one must hear? Rapt attention, very attentively. trying to understand the subject matter that is being presented, because then we will be purified. Then when the transcendental matter enters the holes of the ears, enters into the heart and acts like an aushadhi, acts like the medicine which dissolves all the knots that are tying us up to this material energy. We are really helpless. We are like prisoners caught in this jail cell. But the spiritual master can free us from this material bondage by teaching us the path of devotional service and leading us back home, back to Godhead. So again, to come back to the purport, everyone is thinking in terms of his individual capacity. Even Brahma was once bewildered, thinking that he is the only Brahma. Once you know that story also, I think, but I will repeat it because it's mentioned in this purport. Once Brahma came to visit Krishna, our four-headed Brahma of our universe. And knock, knock. So the gatekeeper comes. So is Krishna there? Yes, he is there. Can I please see him? Wait a minute. I'm going to tell him and ask if he's available. What shall I say? Oh, tell him I'm Brahma. So he says, okay. So then he goes inside and says to Krishna, Brahma is waiting. So then Krishna smiles and says, please ask him, which Brahma are you? So the doorkeeper comes back and he says, Krishna is asking, which Brahma are you? So Brahma says, what do you mean, which Brahma? I am Brahma. So he goes back and Krishna says, all right, bring him in. And then when Brahma comes in, by Krishna's power, he sees that there's a 10-headed Brahma, 100-headed Brahma, 1,000-headed Brahma, 10,000-headed Brahma, 100,000-headed Brahma, million-headed Brahma, and so on. And all of them are paying obeisances to Krishna. At that time, he realizes, I'm just a tiny little Brahma with only 4 heads. And there are so many Brahmas, and they're all offering obeisances. My dear Lord, you are immeasurable. Your power is unmatchable. You are really and truly the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I offer my obeisances to you. So Brahma is a very humbling experience. What to speak of us? We are like tiny little ants. The demigods look down at us and say, oh, they're dying like flies. Like this, because our lifespan is so small. For the demigods, 1 day is 6 months. And 1 night is another 6 months. So 1 year, each 24 hours is a whole year for the demigods. And we have 100 years. So how fast we are going off, you know. So we are very tiny, we are very small, but we have received great mercy. By Srila Prabhupada's mercy, our Gurudev's mercy, we have somehow or the other stumbled upon this most wonderful, sublime, transcendental knowledge that can completely free us and take us back home, back to Godhead. Therefore, even demigods are queuing up to take birth in this Hare Krishna movement on this intermediate planet, leaving their higher planets. They're coming down to Earth. How lucky we are. Okay. So our material universe is only 1/4 and 3/4 is the spiritual world. So again, just let's go down further into the purport. So what can the tiny scientist with his tiny brain know about the Supreme Lord? So we are deluded by the material energy, and only these great personalities, to some extent, they know about the Lord, and they are giving us the instructions how to understand the Lord, how to serve the Lord, how to relate to Krishna, because we are tiny, tiny, tiny parts and parcels of Krishna, and our only identity is servant of Krishna, and our only job, so to speak, is to engage in devotional service to Krishna. So as the father of a child is known by the child through the authority of mother, we have to receive the authority of the Vedas to understand more about our Father Krishna. So then in further verses, we will see that Brahma goes on to explain, we are very tiny, we are very small, we cannot understand the greatness of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, he says, but what need is there, dear Arjuna, for all these detailed explanations? With one spark of my energy, I pervade this entire, with one fragment, sorry, not spark, with one fragment. Let's see which verse is that. I'm trying to remember which verse is that. Bhagavad Gita. I got
10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita.
10, 41 and 42. I'm thinking like that. Let me just check. Okay, there is one verse which says, know that all opulent, beautiful and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. That's 1041. Let's go to 1041 Bhagavad Gita. And I'm thinking the verse which I quoted earlier is 1042. I'm not sure. Let's see. 1041. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Yad yad vibhutimat sattvam shrimad urjitam eva va tat tat eva vagachatvam mama tejomsha sambhavam. Know that all opulent, beautiful and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. Let's go to the next verse because I'm thinking it may be the next verse. 1042. Athava bahut. Yes, this is the one I quoted. Yes. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all these detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. So everything is resting on the Lord. And he's saying, this little universe, just a fragment. With that little fragment, I'm pervading and supporting this entire universe. And our universe, by the way, is the smallest universe. And like this, there are millions and millions of universes. And Krishna is holding and supporting all of them through his powerful energies. He's keeping every planet in orbit by his energies. Such is the power of the Lord. Such a great personality is the Lord that we cannot understand. But Brahma, finally, in the very last verse of this chapter, he says, but we must hear the glories of the Lord, because this is the medicine which will cure us of the disease of materialism. And it's worth listening to that last verse, and I will end there. We will open up. Let's go to the very last verse of this chapter, Srimati, canto, the same canto, same chapter.
6th chapter. Okay.
Yeah, same chapter, very last verse. The very instructive verse. That's why I want us to read that particular translation of that purport, translation and purport, because that gives the solution. You might say, what do we do, Mataji? How will we get out of bewilderment? How will we know what is to be done, what is not to be done? So Krishna is giving us this knowledge through Narad Muni. O Narad, now I shall state one after another the transcendental incarnations of the Lord known as Leelavataras. Hearing of their activities counteracts all foul matters accumulated in the year. These pastimes are pleasing to hear and are to be relished. Therefore, they are in my heart. So, hearing, again, the same process, hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord, engaging in devotional service will purify us of this material contamination, disentangle that hard knot of materialism with which we are tied up, and it will bring us back to our original position, which is pure loving service to Krishna. Hari Bol! Okay, so we will stop there and we will open up for questions, comments, corrections, realizations, whatever you like.
Thank you, Mataji. You explained very nicely this purport and went through all the verses which are relevant to this verse, and thank you for explaining in such detail. Dear devotees, any questions or comments or realizations, you can please go ahead. Please turn on your cameras if possible. Mataji, so I heard in one lecture that Krishna, Lord Krishna, Lord Rama, and Lord Chaitanya means like Lord Krishna came as it is only into this universe, not in any other universe. It seems that too on the planet of Earth, that too in India. So, do you have any more information about this Mataji? Like um, did Lord not went to other universes or any other planets, like as himself? That's what my question.
So I have not directly heard of, Krishna in this particular universe or that particular universe. But from the descriptions in the Shastra, we hear that the Lord's Leela is going on all over in every universe. There is some Leela or the other of the Lord is going on. Just like the sun is always there, and sometimes we see it's rising and sometimes setting, but actually it's just the Earth's rotation which causes that phenomenon. So it is described that when Krishna disappears from this planet, he goes to another planet. But beyond that, I cannot say Krishna was in, Tapalok at this time, and that information I don't have. Of course, certainly all the scriptures may be describing these pastimes, but I have no knowledge of it other than Krishna's pastimes are going on in some universe somewhere at all times. That much I know, but not beyond that.
Okay, Mataji.
Yes, Divya.
Yes,
Hare
Divya.
Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories to our Gurudev. And please accept my humble obeisances, all devotees. Thank you so much, Mataji, for explaining the very nice verse of this and also explaining the Mahajans, the 12 Mahajans. You very clearly explained because these Mahajans has also been mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And somebody who is just directly starting with Chaitanya Charitamrita get confused that who are these Mahajans. My question is, Mataji, as you very well explained that Brahmaji is saying to Narada that, I do not know about the qualities or the opulences of the Lord. But I just wanted to understand, do you think it is the Brahmaji's humbleness, or he's trying to teach us that humbleness and the humility? Because if we go on to the other chapters, we have understood that whenever there's a fight between the demons and the demigods, and the demigods needed to take the shelter of Lord Vishnu, so Brahmaji always headed first along with the all the other demigods, and always pray to Lord Vishnu and always pray to the Krishna with beautiful prayers that has been mentioned. And as you mentioned, Kunti Devi also. So that means it shows that they are very humble, and they have reached to that level of humility where Kunti Devi and Brahmaji is actually praying to the Lord in a very humble way and always starting their request with the prayers. So I'm just trying to understand whether it is actually being mentioned with the devotees, because I don't think that Brahmaji is trying to create that position that, oh, I'm not aware of anything, because he has actually tested Krishna once when you mentioned that Leela, when he's taken over all the gopas and all the cow herdsmen. Yeah, so I just wanted to understand from your perspective, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Divya. Please accept my humble obeisances too. All glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. So the answer to your question is, it is both. It is both. He is very humble. At the same time, he's speaking from the position of perfect knowledge, because it is true that nobody can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead in full. Nobody can, except perhaps Radharani, because she is actually
That
the
is what
Lord
I want to say.
feminine. Yeah. So
Okay.
other than her, who can know the Supreme Lord? Krishna himself says, no one knows me as I am. I know past, present, and future, but me, no one knows. Krishna says that in the Bhagavad Gita. So he's very categorical because his opulences are inexhaustible. And Krishna is not a static, limited personality. His opulences are ever increasing every minute, every second. His beauty is increasing, his strength is increasing, his wealth is increasing, his fame is increasing, his renunciation is, everything is increasing at every minute. So who can know the Lord? Even Anantasesh, with his thousands of mouths, who has been describing the glories of Krishna since time immemorial, cannot complete it. This is the greatness of the Lord, inexhaustible, uncountable, you can say. And his incarnations themselves are so many, they are like the waves of the ocean. It is described, who can count? Whatever we are hearing, these are just the principal incarnations. There are innumerable incarnations of the Lord also. So, who can understand or know the Lord in completeness? No one. So
So,
Brahma is speaking from a position of truth. And he says, I do not know you, my Lord. But at the same time, he's a Mahajan and he understands the greatness of the Lord. That's why those beautiful Brahma Samhita prayers, he describes the glories, and in every verse, in Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami, he offers obeisances and says, my Lord, you're the supreme. So Brahma is admitting that he is a very, very inadequate to understand the Lord, but at the same time, he's glorifying the Lord because he knows he is the Supreme Lord.
So that means, Mataji, we should learn from this, this verse that we should also develop those characteristics and features within us, because otherwise we'll get puffed off with our knowledge sometimes. This is what we think, that when we go in front of some general devotees, we think, oh, we know best, we have learned this and that,
Yes.
so.
So true. Humility is actually, His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj says, is not a part of devotional service, is the heart of devotional service.
Nice. Okay.
And in one lecture recently, Guru Maharaj said, humility itself is devotional service. It is described as good as prema. So, how important it is for us to really become humbler than a blade of grass, more tolerant than a tree, completely devoid of all false prestige, ready to offer all respects to others. It's a very exalted state, but it's very desirable because this is our position. We are very small and we are just carried away by the material energy. It's so powerful. So we have to humbly beseech and beg the Lord, my dear Lord, I'm so small. I'm prone to being misled by the material energy. So please help me to remember you. Otherwise, I am lost. I am lost. So our position has to become that of a beggar. His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, yesterday was his Vyasa Puja over here, and they were describing his beautiful books, of which the Beggar series, His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodar Maharaj was saying, try to read these books, especially the Beggar series, to inculcate that mood of constantly begging for the Lord's mercy. Because then we are in a safe position, because we are always begging for the mercy, which means we are always remembering Krishna. The moment we think, I've got it figured, I know, finished, we are caught. You see? So every moment remembering that without the Lord's mercy, I cannot take the next breath. I cannot speak the next word. Any moment, anything can happen. So therefore, my dear Lord, please help me to remember you every moment.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
I think there is a power
Yeah.
cut on the other side.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Srimati Mataji.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for the nice question. Thank you. I guess we have to wait for Mataji to come back. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I think Mataji has a power cut. So we'll chant for some time. I hope Mataji will join. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavranda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So sorry, the power cut axed me out of the Zoom. Yeah, Krishna's absolute power over everything.
Yeah, as you were telling, anything can happen. Anything can happen.
Krishna wants, again it will go. If Krishna wants, it will stay. Actually, right at the beginning of the class, as I was joining, I was going to say, I'm going to request my God family to please pray that at least for this 1 hour, 15 minutes or so, there should be no power cut so that you are not put to inconvenience. But I forgot to ask you. See, so Krishna is reminding me, do your service properly. That also I must remember now. I'll make a note. So I improve my service. So we lost a lot of people in that power cut. I can see we are just 9 left now.
Yeah. Okay. Dear devotees, any more questions? Mataji. So I don't see any questions, Mataji. So shall we chant for some time?
Let me just ask Divya if I answered the question completely to her satisfaction.
Yeah.
Has any follow-up?
Yes,
Anything?
Yes, Yes, Mataji. I'm still thinking from your class, what can I ask? Because this is a golden opportunity for me to ask from you directly. So I'm just also thinking that, how it is very nice that you explained that Naraji is also asking these questions in the verse. But, we have seen most of the time that Naraji is always aware of what's happening. And whenever he goes into the lives of others and he completely tells, like yesterday I was reading some that how he actually informed Gandhari and Dhritarashtra that it's time to go, and how he was aware of all the situation that that your time has come up, and there are many other instances where Naraji is actually very informative and he's aware. So I'm just thinking why Krishna never stops him of telling he always telling the future about some living entities, or so maybe it creates some hindrance on Krishna's path of not revealing those aspects to the other living entities, or I'm not
No,
sure,
no,
like.
no, 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 it's not like that. Narad Muni is a perfect spiritual master. He's also highly empowered. He is one of the people who knows past, present, future,
Mm,
Trikalagya. And so, with his divine energies, when he is saying something, it is only to hasten the Lord's pastimes or to further the mission of the Lord. It is never to create a hindrance. For example, he told Kamsa, you never
mm,
know who is the eighth child.
yeah.
Never kill all the children. You might think, oh my God, how did Narad Muni say that when Kamsa himself said, no, no, I'll let the first 7 children go. I'll only kill, after all, it's the eighth child. Like that, Kamsa was thinking, and he let Vasudeva and Devaki go and say, you can have your children. He felt compassion because, he brought the first child. No, 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 we go. But then Narad Muni comes over there and says, oh, how do you know which is the eighth child? You count the fingers like this, you count the finger like that. And he confused him so much. So he decided, I'll kill all of them. But there was a
Mm,
reason behind that. We know that those were the sons of Kalanemi. They had a very short, karmic debt to fulfill. So they had to be killed and get released from this material body. So many things. So Narad Muni is always furthering the desires of the Lord. He's perfect spiritual master. He gave Dhruva Maharaj perfect instruction. He liberated Prahlad Maharaj from the womb itself. So he never, I know Hindi movies, they have this, penchant to portray Narad Muni as mischief maker.
mm,
They love to do that. But actually, that is incorrect. And that is actually, sort of, you can almost say, aparad to such a great personality
yeah.
like that.
Understood, Mataji. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mataji. I was just curious to understand that, why he's asking these questions, because Naraji has actually himself told that how he was born and how he got that transcendental knowledge. So he's definitely a very great, but I never knew that he's also a spiritual master. But yeah, we always used to think he's a great devotee. But yeah, there are few things, we get confused that what's happening, because of our bhav, Mataji, we have not got to that stage of our bhav and our prema and that humility that we have developed for the Lord. So maybe those things are not connected, or those puzzles are not solved. Yeah.
Not just that, it doesn't mean that only on the stage of bhav, prem and all, but even a neophyte can get this knowledge
Mhm.
provided they get in touch with Prabhupada's books.
Mm.
We have to get connected to the parampara. You see,
Yeah.
only when we get connected to the Guru Shishya parampara, then we will receive correct transcendental knowledge. Otherwise, what is our knowledge? Newspapers, magazines, hearsay, TV serials, Hindi movies. And I grew up like this, Krishna Chaitanya. And so what? I watch all Hindi movies and hear all. So there in all the movies, how is Narad Muni portrayed? Mischief maker. सब जगह जाके मिस्चिव करता है ये नारद आया ऐसा ही करे so this is a very actually very unfortunate that our great classics are being twisted just for entertainment purposes
Yeah.
wrong portrayals wrong interpretations so therefore one must be very careful utpata vaiva kalpate huh? That those literatures which are not in keeping with the Guru Parampara, they are simply a disturbance in society. Rupa Goswami says, Shruti Smriti Puranadi Aikantiki Harer Bhaktir what is the third line? I forget. Let's go to
Ratriki Vidhan
Aikantiki Hare Bhakti
Pataya
Shruti Smriti Puranadi. Let's just
Pancharatriki Vidhim Vina
Pancharatriki Vidhim Vida, correct. Aikantiki Hare Bhakti Utpataiva Kalpate. That means it causes so much disturbance in society, anything that is not in keeping with parampara. That is why we must only give ear to pure transcendental knowledge coming in disciplic succession. Can we go to that verse, my dear?
That is nectar of devotion, right, Mataji?
Yeah. It's there. It is quoted in Nectar of Devotion. But if you just Google Shruti Smriti Puranadi, Pancharatrikim Vidhim Vina, then you will get the whole thing. This is why Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj was so strong. He was called Lion Guru. Why? Because he was just smashing all this nonsense. His pranam mantra itself says Viruddhapa Apasiddhanta Dvanta Harine. He came to smash all this nonsense Apasiddhanta. Siddhant means religious principles. Apasiddhant, what is against religious principles. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj was non-compromising. He would not entertain any deviation, even little bit. He would not say, yeah, it's okay. You can say like this or no, not like that. Finished. Yeah, there we go. Therefore, Rupa Goswami accepts Puranas to be as important as Vedas. Therefore, in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he quotes the following verse from the Brahma Yamala. Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatri Vidhim Vina Aikantiki Harer Bhaktir Utpatayaiva Kalpate. Devotional service of the Lord that ignores the authorized Vedic literatures like the Upanishads, Puranas, and Narad Pancharatra is simply an unnecessary disturbance in society. See, a devotee of Krishna must refer not only to Vedas but also to Puranas. One should not foolishly consider Puranas mythological. So we must only stick to our Shastras. Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. We must not even think of anything else, not hear anything else, not read anything else, like the Goda, like the horse. Just keep your eyes, ears, mind, heart, everything fixed on the words coming from Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. Bas. You don't want to hear anything, don't want to see anything, don't want to think of anything other than this, because it will mislead us. You must be very clear about this. Is that all right?
Yeah, thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you so much. Mataji, if you don't mind sharing that beggar series, the prayers that we can just, maybe just recite in front of our deity sometime. Yeah. Whenever you get a chance, it's not urgent. Yeah. Whenever you get a chance, please.
The beggar series is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let me just by Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. So you will be able to find those books. I think they're available. You are in UK, right?
Yes, Mataji, yes.
Yeah. So let me just share that link and you should be able to get the beggar set of 3 volumes. 4 volumes. Okay. Bhakti Tirtha Swami. Here are the I just went online and just Googled it, but you should be able to get it, from your bookstore over there also. This is one particular bookstore that is stocking his books. So you can ask for the beggar series. But there's a very famous prayer by Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj that our Maharaj often quotes. It is, "My dear Lord, whatever is needed to be taken away so that I can be a better instrument in the mission and service of the Lord, let it be taken away. And whatever is needed to be brought into my life so that I can be a better servant of Srila Prabhupada, bring it on." Like this, complete surrender. complete surrender. This is the prayer of a pure devotee. So the exact words I don't know. I have paraphrased Maharaj's prayer, but this is the heartfelt plea to the Lord to make him an instrument of his mercy.
Oh, thank you. Wonderful, Mataji.
But
Thank
if
you.
you're not ready to make this prayer of full surrender, don't make it. You should be ready for Krishna to come like a tsunami and sweep everything up. I don't know whether I was foolish enough or desperate enough or mad enough, but I did make this prayer. Almost 10, not 10, more than that, about 15 years back, I made this prayer. I said, okay, my Lord, I want to come to the position of full surrender because I know this is the only thing that is in my best interest. Anything less than full surrender means I have to take birth again. So whatever it is, however painful it is, I'm making this prayer. Take away everything that is not good for me, and whatever is good for me, bring it on us. And then Krishna did his surgery, and I was left crying. But I've accepted what he has done, and I'm trying my best to work with what he has given me.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Very grateful message actually here. Yeah, you're right. But I think we are ready. I don't think so.
Okay.
We'll get another chance to make these prayers later on. Yeah.
Yes, yes, that is so
Thank
true.
you. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Nice question. It
Sorry,
has
Mataji. I think
brought about
I
so
hijacked
much
the
discussion, and it has
class.
made me also feel so enlivened to remember all this and to remember how fortunate we are to get this pure knowledge. How lucky we are. There are so many people, they are lost. They're looking and they're getting misled. They don't know. So just imagine what a great service we will do to others if we present this knowledge, pure knowledge, as it is to others. So preaching is very important to destroy the darkness of ignorance in the world. So whatever little bit you know, share it with others.
Sure, Mataji. Thank you. Thank you once again.
Thank you. My
Mhm.
humble obeisances.
My
Jai
humble
Prabhu.
obeisances, Mataji. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you, Divya Mataji, for such nice questions, and Mataji, nice discussion.
Happy to share what little bit I know by Guru Maharaj's mercy, by Prabhupada's mercy. I'm just so happy that we are so protected by Guru Maharaj. We are given the pure knowledge that I feel very enlivened to share this with others.
Yes, Mataji.
We also have Gauri Priya, we have Dheeraj, we have Sneha, we have Sakshi. Sakshi is always full of very deep questions. I don't know why she's keeping quiet today. We have Trupti, who has such intelligent questions. We have Bonnie, who also has many intelligent questions, but today they are not giving me any mercy. I must be failing them in some way. I must be disappointing them in some way. What do you say,
Mataji,
Srimati?
you explained such nicely, so there are no questions, Mataji. That's why.
I don't believe that for a minute. Everybody has given up on me. They say, oh, this Mataji just rattles on and on. Let's do something else.
Yeah.
Shruti saying, I agree 100%. You agree 100% with what? That I've disappointed you. And you'd rather be doing something else.
Yeah, Mataji, you explained very well, and they don't have any questions.
Okay, if you say
So,
so.
mm, yeah. Yeah, the thing is, Mataji, we are always in this, as you say, always the rat race um, to go to have so much material things in life. and we want spiritual both, and as well as material. Like we are in the two legs, one leg is in spiritual side, one leg is in material side. So it's very hard sometimes to imagine also to surrender fully, take out both legs into spiritual. So that strength, how we will get, Mataji? I know Gurmaj always says about association of devotees, but association of devotees, yeah, we can understand, but everyone are, if they are like us only, so then how we will get inspiration to change our way of life, or how to get full surrender, that particular stage where we will get.
Yeah, it is a process. It won't happen overnight. Yes, we are filled with so many anarthas. We have still so many material desires. It's not like, I have come to Mayapur and suddenly I've become immune. Again and again, I get attacked by so many things, that I should not waste my time on. I get on the internet and then I get distracted. Then I want to do shopping. Then I find a. And like this, the other day I was just thinking, my gosh, Guru Maharaj, he has already said he has come and cleaned my house. He left my bedroom because he didn't want to, obviously. And I'm thinking to myself, so many things I have, what I'm doing with them. So much stuff that I just want to give away. And then when I get into it, and no, I might need this for this person. No, I will give that to. And so again, the collection stays in the room. It doesn't go out of the room. And I'm thinking to myself, after 3 hours, I've not got one little particle outside my room to give away because I'm so attached. I'm so attached. Or this has sentimental value. This my mother gave me. This is Aparajita's first booties which she wore as a baby. When she has a baby, and I have saved it up to give it to her baby. Like this, on and on and on and on and on and on and on. It is not easy. Our attachments are very deep to this material energy, and it's not so easy to just, we cannot uproot ourselves like that. So therefore it is a gradual process. As we practice more, little by little by little by little by little, we'll find ourselves getting more detached from the material energy. It cannot just happen just like that. And if it happens just like that, chances are we will again jump back into it. So it's not advisable also to make some sudden huge renouncement, because it is just bhoga tyaga phenomenon. So, but we will see that Krishna helps. Whatever attachments we had 10 years ago, at least it is not that bad now. For example, I was very addicted to sweets. When I was in America, I would always be eyeing the plate when the Maha sweets are coming. And in spite of knowing it's not good, I would keep on eating those sweets. And then I did my Bhakti Shastri in 2017. I remember telling one of the teachers, I am so addicted to sweets. What do I do about that? It's not good for me. She says, don't worry, Mataji. You keep on engaging in devotional service and one day it will go away. And now, only 8 years since that day, I really still cannot forget what she said. I'm no longer so attracted. I mean, I like sweets, though I'm not denying that, but I'm not mad about them like I used to be. I'm not like waiting for the Mahaplate to come out and grab all the sweets. Okay, if it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not, like that. So neither there's aversion nor excessive attachment, which is the way it should be. So I feel, thank you, Krishna, at least one thing, I've been able to overcome. So like this, we have to keep on practicing the process until we become completely detached from the material energy. Then you're surrendered. Whatever Krishna wants, you're willing to do. Krishna says, go here, you go here. Krishna says, do this, you do this. So then it just becomes very natural. There is no struggle. You see? The struggle is to overcome our anarthas. Now, another struggle. Okay, I've given up addiction for sugar, but when am I going to get over my pack rat hoarding mentality? That's another addiction. Now, Guru Maharaj has made it very clear. He wants a very clean house. So now I have to really take inventory and start giving. I made a beginning. I had 3 water bottles. I gave away 1 water bottle. This hot water bottle type of thing. I
Yeah.
had 3. I said, what is this? This is too much. This is Atyahara Prayasa. You know that. So give it away. So I gave away 1 bottle. I said, 1 I will keep because one is a hot water flask and another is a bottle. So I kept 2.
Yeah. Even I'm thinking I'll do a garage sale in spring.
Yes, yes. It's so important for us to constantly be thinking, oh my dear Lord, how can I improve? How can I avoid what is unfavorable? How can I get more of what is favorable?
So, Madhuri, I feel like even after so many years, like suppose even our responsibilities are done and coming into Vanaprastha stage. So, even if we maintain this type of lifestyle, these problems will be there, right? So, we'll not be able to surrender fully. So, making changes in our lifestyle or moving into different places, like simpler living, that will help us more, right, Mataji? That's what I was thinking.
Definitely, definitely. The more we simplify our life, the
Mm.
easier it becomes to practice spiritual life because then so much energy we are not using up just to maintain. You see,
Mm.
less
Yeah.
things we have means less headaches we have. So it is actually good for us to start simplifying our life, and it will happen naturally for you. It will happen organically because you're practicing the process of Krishna consciousness. You're chanting your rounds every day. You're engaging in deity worship. You're offering your seva to the deities. Krishna reciprocates. Krishna helps. So you can be very confident that little by little, you will find that, you're no longer so attached to that thing or that event or that, result. You become more detached. You're not so involved anymore. It happens
Mm.
naturally. We don't have to struggle to overcome it. What we have to struggle to overcome is our conditioning, our anartha. Then automatically detachment will come.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you,
You
Mataji.
can take courage from the fact that you are engaged in service to Guru and Krishna will help. You don't have to
Mm.
worry.
Yeah. Yes, Mataji. Thank you. So here Sneha Mataji is asking, Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. I have a question out of box. How to overcome from overthinking?
Very good question. Overthinking is also Atyahara Prayasa. Too much mental, being too much on the mental platform is also detrimental for our spiritual life because then we cannot get on the spiritual platform. It's all, mental gymnastics all the time. It's like the monkey, you know. Monkey is always jumping from one tree to another, one tree to another, one tree to another. Similarly, the mind is also monkey. चंचलम ही मन कृष्णा प्रमाति बलवद दृढ़म तस्याहम निग्रहम मन्ये वायोरिवासु दुष्करम. My dear Krishna, the mind is restless, obstinate, turbulent, and very strong. And to subdue it, I think, is more difficult than controlling the wind. So how to do? Keep this rascal mind under control and stop it from over jumping all over the place. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Our efforts should go into attentive, rapt, focused, devoted chanting. That's where we have to put our energies. Because if we put our energies over there, then automatically the strength will come to control the mind, to have clear thinking, to have good intelligence for the day. It's like putting on your armor against Maya. So if we do that first part properly early morning, then we are in a good position to fight Maya. I hope that helps, Neha.
So overthinking is all Maya, Mataji?
Yes, it is overuse. See, anything you overdo is detrimental.
Mm.
So why waste so much energy letting the mind jump from one place to another? You have to harness our mental energy also, no?
Yeah.
Just as physically, if you overdo something, you get exhausted. Mind also gets exhausted from overthinking.
Yeah. So we have all our previous notions from our previous practices or previous religious things. So definitely when we hear the things, when we come into bhakti and know about Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam and hear from devotees, so they have their own understanding, right, Mataji? So they bring that and they overthink about that and they say, they do all contradictory things. Like when new people, when they come into Krishna consciousness, they have all these pre-think and pre-notions or overthinking mentality.
Preconceived ideas, their own
Yeah,
ideas, their own interpretations,
yeah.
their own pet
So it's very
theories.
difficult to talk to them sometimes, I feel.
Yes, it is. Sometimes you have to just cut it short, especially if you're doing a program and
Mm.
one person starts off rattling on and on and on and on. You can say, okay, that's very nice, but ultimately we have to be mindful that we don't allow the mind to take over.
Yeah. Sakshi Mataji has raised her hand. Mataji, please go
Yeah.
ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, my humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories to Guru Maharaj. Mataji, my question is, sometimes we get instructions from our Guru. So, because of lack of surrender, if we find it difficult to follow those instructions, so at that time what to do? And another thing is, we get confused whether the particular thing he is saying is a suggestion or an instruction. So how do we differentiate?
Right.
That's my question.
So therefore, it is very important when Guru is giving the instructions, first and foremost, to listen very carefully in order to understand. And then one can ask clarifying questions, because the whole point is you must understand the instruction, otherwise how will you carry it out? So you must clarify with the Guru. So Guru Maharaj, I'm understanding that you want me to cook once a week for the deities, the evening bhoga offering. Is that correct? Is what I have understood correct? Like that you clarify it. Okay. And then if it seems very difficult, it seems impossible, or it seems overwhelming or something, you can ask the Guru, you are permitted to ask, Guru Maharaj, this seems very difficult for me. I'm just feeling so overwhelmed just by the thought of doing it. Can you please help me? And sometimes the Guru will modify those instructions so that it is doable for you. You are permitted to ask like that. Guru may refuse, saying nothing doing, do it. That's different. But you are permitted to ask because you also want to do it. You also want to obey, but you are not able to do it. Or you think you are not able to do it, right? So then the Guru will teach you, right? Once I remember saying, when Guru Maharaj told me something, I said, oh, Guru Maharaj, please, please, give me your mercy, give me your mercy. He's saying, the mercy is in the instructions, you do it. So the empowerment will come when we follow the instructions, when we attempt to follow the instructions, so to speak. So don't worry. If something seems very overwhelming or difficult like that, you can always ask the Guru. Guru Maharaj, this seems extremely difficult. I'm not able to understand how to carry it out. Can you please make it, so that I can understand? Maybe he will show you the steps how to carry it out, or he may even modify the instructions, saying, okay, this may be difficult, you do like this. So that's all right. You can ask. The Guru is not here to, he's not a drill sergeant in the army, to beat you into submission. He's your loving father who is going to take you back to Godhead. So you must develop a very loving, trusting relationship with him, where you can open your heart and share freely. Otherwise, what is the point of guru-disciple relationship? We have to be very honest with Gurudev. We have to be very honest. and reveal everything as it is. I'm a monkey, I'm a donkey, I'm an idiot, please help me. Like that. There is no pride. There is no false pride in front of Guru. Guru knows everything. He knows you from millions of lifetimes, more than you know yourself. Guru knows us better than we know ourselves, because he, with his divine vision, he sees everything. So our faults, our anarthas, our entanglements, our desires, our dislike, our hate, everything is known to Guru. We are trying to get out of this material entanglement. So therefore, we need to ask Guru to help us. So you can ask questions, no problem. Is that all right?
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much. And another, I have a follow-up. Like in one of his classes, I have heard that if we want to bring change in ourselves, we have to change the way we think. We have to change our consciousness in order to bring change. So how do we develop this desire to bring the change? Yeah. I mean, sometimes we want to do something, but out of our laziness or maybe procrastination, we just we are not able to do what we are supposed to do. So how do we, cultivate ourselves, that desire?
Let's do it, just tell yourself, I've got to do this because I can't go on like this. Otherwise, I'm going to ask for just another rebirth in this material world. Depends on how strong your desire is to get out of this entanglement. Are you wanting to get out of this prison house, Sakshi?
Yeah.
Or you like it here?
But
You like it here?
no, maybe I don't have much experience.
Maybe you don't have life experiences yet, huh? You're still
Yes.
sheltered by your parents and you're nicely taken care of, so perhaps it's not so difficult right now. But don't worry, it'll get difficult when you're 40. Then you will realize, oh, what Prabhupada's saying is true. This body is not a good bargain. It's a very bad bargain. Let me make best use of it and go back to Krishna. So, we just say to ourselves, I have to do this. Supposing you have to write an exam in 2 weeks' time, your teacher says, I'm going to give you unit test on chapter 4, 5, 6. And everybody say, oh, in 2 weeks, unit test, what to do, what to do? And then everybody just buckles down and studies for the exam and does it, isn't it? We do it, isn't it? Similarly, when Guru says, do like this, may seem difficult, it may seem, and we are lazy, we don't want to do it, but we keep on trying. Just like a small child, at first attempt, he doesn't just get up and start running the first time he gets up. He gets up, he stumbles, he falls. Then again he gets up, he stumbles, he falls. But one day comes when he's running all over the house and making mommy and daddy crazy with his naughtiness, right? Does the child give up? No. So similarly, we are like little children. We are still learning. So it is natural that we will fail in our attempts. Nobody just gets it just like that. But by repeatedly trying, we develop that, willpower muscle, doing muscle. We have to develop those muscles. Then it becomes easier and easier, and then we become expert. Like when you first began chanting, did you chant 16 rounds the very next day? No. Little by little you increase, right? And now you chant 16 rounds every day since 2 years almost, isn't it?
Yes.
See, how did you do that? You decided, I have to do this, and you did it. Same principle applies in everything else spiritual.
Thank you, Mataji. Yes.
Mataji, Sridevi Mataji, if you are okay, can I share something?
Good, please.
Yeah. So I heard in one lecture when Prabhuji was saying, like, we always ask about how to do things, but instead, if we ask why we want to do those things, so the reason why we want to follow, or why we want to surrender, or why we want to overcome these bad habits, or so if we know the reason strongly, then we'll be able to do it. So just knowing the process, okay, we know how to do it, but okay, we'll do it. But why we want to do it now, or why we want to start it soon? So if we have that strong reason in mind,
Motivation.
then
Yeah.
that will help. That's what Prabhuji was saying.
Yes, we must be constantly aware. Why am I doing what I'm doing? For me, I'm very clear. I don't want to take birth again, Sakshi. I'm so done. I can't wait to go back. I don't know how many lifetimes it will take, but I'm very clear. I want to go back to Krishna. So everything I have to do with that goal in mind, right? So being aware, as Srimati says, why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I chanting my rounds? Because I want to get closer to Krishna. Why am I engaging in devotional service? Because I want to please Guru and Krishna. Why am I reading the books? Because I want to get clear about this philosophy. So like this, we must have very good clarity on why we are doing what we are doing. Not do it routinely, mechanically, just because everyone does, oh yeah, Hare Krishna, oh, that means you chant. But why you chant? Oh, I don't really know why I chant. You don't know why you chant? No, we know why we chant. So, therefore, being aware and being highly motivated to do that thing because you know why you're doing it. Very important. Write down all these things and stick it on your wall. So you see it every day.
Thank you so much. It was really very helpful and very informative. Thank you, Srimati Mataji.
Very
Hare
nice.
Krishna.
Is
You said
Sakshi
it
Mataji
very
coming
nicely.
to retreat? Did you buy the ticket?
Mataji, on 12th, I'll be having an appointment, visa appointment. So
You
I'll
didn't
see
have
after,
till, yeah, okay.
after the appointment, after 10, for 10 days, I have to wait and the results will come, whether it is approved or not.
Okay.
It will be approved. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We'll all pray for you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
Jaya.
you.
All the best, Mataji.
Thank
So
you.
Sneha Mataji is asking how to develop that strong desire to go back to Godhead, Mataji.
The more you get beaten up by the material energy, the more you will develop strong desire to go back to Godhead. Bluntly put. But you don't have to wait for that. Simply by hearing from the Shastra, simply by hearing from the Guru, we can understand that this material world is not a nice place. It's not a nice place. And the very fact that we are actually eternal, we are actually full of joy. But now, how we are? Full of misery, always griping, grumbling, body giving so much trouble, mind giving so much trouble, people giving so much trouble, environment giving so much trouble. This is not a good place to be. And then when you hear, wow, there's a wonderful spiritual world where every word is a song, every word is a dance, and the happiness of loving Krishna is ever increasing. And Krishna is singing and playing, and you get to play and sing and dance and run with the cows and play with the cows, and that fun goes on eternally. Srila Prabhupada says Krishna is always having fun. He doesn't work. Nobody works in the spiritual world. Here, how hard we have to work for everything. And then we grow old and we die ultimately. But there you have your spiritual body. You're serving Krishna unlimitedly, lovingly. Here, even if I want to serve Krishna in a very wonderful way, my body limits me, my mind limits me. I cannot. But there you can serve Krishna perfectly, unlimitedly, ever increasingly. And the joy just goes on increasing every moment. And time is conspicuous by its absence. And you never have to grow old, you never have to die, you don't get diseases. And everyone is happy, not just you. Everyone around you is happy, and everyone is helping each other to serve Krishna. What a wonderful world to be in, isn't it? So the more we hear from Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, the more we will develop that strong desire to go back home to Krishna. Is that all right?
Thank you, Mataji. Yes, Mataji. Yes. Okay.
So
Mataji.
I will have to sort of, if there are no more questions, I will have to go because I have a session coming up
Okay.
and
Even
I have to get ready for my therapy session with a client.
Mhm. No problem,
If you
Mataji.
want to carry on with chanting, that's fine with me, but I won't be able to stay on.
Yeah, even me too. I have another class now to start in a few 20 minutes. So I have to leave, Mataji. Thank you so much once again. Such a wonderful class and nice discussion, dear devotees. And I just want to announce, I don't think many US devotees are there. So tomorrow is daylight savings for USA. So tomorrow we are going to change time, going 1 hour forward. So for the US devotees, it is like 6:30 a.m. Central and 7:30 a.m. Eastern. 1 hour will go forward. So that is 11:30 p.m. 11:30 a.m. UK time. So right now we are following 11:30 a.m. UK time. So based on that, our class timings will change. So I'll just post in the group so that everyone will have an idea for tomorrow.
So that will be only for US devotees?
Yes, Mataji. No
Change?
change for India and UK. So
Okay.
only for US.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
Mataji.
so much, Srimati. I'm very grateful that you're always there to hold the fort for all of us and make it possible for us to meet like this. And most importantly, what you're doing is so pleasing to Guru Maharaj because he is very particular that we do this class every day. So
Yes,
my
ma'am.
gratitude to you and to all the devotees for staying online in spite of the power cut. Thank you very much.
It's all Guru Maharaj's mercy, and as instructions
Yes.
come in the mercy come in the form of instructions. So just following.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank you,
so much.
Mataji.
Thank you, Srimati.
Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhyavcha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namah.
Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. And
Srimad
thank you, dear
Bhagavatam ki jai,
devotees.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Prabhupada
jai.
ki jai.
Maharaj.
Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo